Yo, Alaska, what's going on from the desk at KM, man? I just want to touch base and talk to all of you because we are 1 month away. 1 month away. It's exciting. It's this close. It felt like we were just there. September was yesterday. It's awesome. September shows, if you guys were there in Soldotna, if you guys were there in Palmer, you saw what we did. You guys were awesome. You rocked the house, man. I cannot wait to go back to those towns. Plus, heading over to Fairbanks. Never been there yet. Excited to meet those fans out there. But before we get into all that, there's a couple of things I need to talk to you about, or I want to talk to you about, or I want to tell you, inform you, whatever you want to say. But before we do all that, I would love to just give a special shout out to a lot of the sponsors that helped make this whole thing possible. Eyewear Express, Outlaw Body and Paint, the Annex Gun Store, obviously Harley Davidson, who's hosting our Palmer events. They're amazing. Mad Creations, Alaska Elixirs, the Terran and Dez Show, our buddies, Alaska Driving Academy, Magna Motors, 5150 Vapes, who have been with us since day one. Those guys are amazing. Matanuska Cannabis, MCC Flight, 2 new sponsors. Thank you for coming on board. Rebel Fitness, absolutely love Rebel Fitness. I was working out there last time I was in town. Intend to do the same thing this time. 24KT Studios does all of our graphics. He's awesome. Printing out even our merchandise we're bringing over. Kick it into gear. 907 Wrestling Academy, guys. Like I said, if you ever want to become a part of the Wrestlepro Alaska events and you have dreams of becoming a pro wrestler in the state of Alaska, it is possible, but you have to go through the 907 Wrestling Academy. Hit them up on social media. His name is JT West. They're awesome. A lot of their students will be featured on our Northern Expansion Tour. The Duck Inn over in Soldotna, Alaska. Budweiser. Show Boss, who does all of our lighting and our screens and makes our shows look amazing. Vito Auto Sales, thank you guys. Coots, who have been with us again since day one. All of you guys, all of you sponsors that I just rattled off, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, my partner Matt Plant and everybody else, we thank you for being a part of this, for being a part of the WrestlePro family, because without you guys on board, who knows how possible this whole thing would be? Who knows how much we would be able to grow and expand? Would we be able to do, 5 shows instead of 1 like before? There's no saying it. So seriously, thank all of you. With all of that said, a couple little changes here. Card subject to change, as always. In this case, also venue subject to change. If you guys follow us on social media, you guys know what I'm about to talk about. If you don't follow us on social media, then again, how are you seeing this video? I don't know. I guess you do follow us on social media. With that said, Homer at this time is not happening. It's just not in the cards. It just didn't seem that it was going to work out too well in our favor. So we redirected that show to the All-American Training Center in Soldotna. Now we're going to do a double header in Soldotna for night 1 and night 2. The cards are always going to be awesome, guys. We're going to have a couple of fights on those cards, just like last time, as well as we're bringing back the 7-way Soldotna street fight. If you guys saw the last one, that one was pretty wild. That was actually one of my favorite wrestling matches that I think I've seen, or at least booked or did commentary for. It was wild. I watched that match multiple times. We're going to do it again. Who knows? Guys, trust me, if you're in the area, come by one of the shows, both of the shows. You won't regret it. On the 7th of April, we're going to make our way up to Fairbanks, our debut at Fairbanks for a Wednesday event. Not sure how a Wednesday event will turn out. We're hoping for the best, but we're going to try to make this work. Normally, we do Friday and Saturdays. We're going to try it Wednesday. If this works, we will be back, Fairbanks. If this hits a home run, I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, we will be back. That event is over at the Spur. Guys, so if you're in the Fairbanks area or surrounding area, come check us out, guys. Fairbanks debut. You guys wanted us in Fairbanks for a long, long, long time. For 2 years now, you guys asked us to come to Fairbanks. We're coming to Fairbanks. Make sure you're there so we can come back to Fairbanks. We make our way back down. We make our way to Palmer. Yes, Palmer. We are not doing Anchorage on the 10th anymore. We are actually doing a doubleheader in Palmer on the 9th and the 10th at Harley Davidson. Right now, Anchorage, just like September, is not really ready to fully open up and host events to the capacity that we would need. So we're directing our 9th and 10th event over to the Harley Davidson over in Palmer, Alaska, Denali Harley Davidson. So Thank you, Fred, for hosting us both nights. That's a huge thank you. I mean, we have those cards those are the cards that are really loaded up, guys. So I actually wrote some notes over my shoulder in case I forget, because I don't want to miss anything, guys. So on night 1, on April 9th, night 1 in Palmer, Alaska, that's the one I promised you guys DDP, because Palmer was so great to us last time in September. I promised you I would bring DDP to Palmer, and that's exactly what I intend on doing. I talked to him the other day. Dallas is super stoked. He's making a whole trip out of it. He's excited. I know everyone's doubting me that he's even coming. I promise you Dallas is going to be there, and I like to keep my promises. So night 1, April 9th, DDP's in the house. The long-awaited match between Dion Roosman, Wasila's own, against Anthony Bowens, who's now an AEW superstar as part of the Acclaimed. Interim gold champion, Anthony Bowens gold champion. Title unification match. The winner will be awarded the undisputed title by Diamond Dallas Page himself. QT Marshall, AEW's QT Marshall, makes his first trek over to Wrestlepro, Alaska. QT Marshall will be in the house on the 9th and on the 10th. He will take on Bobby Wayward on night number 1 and LSG on night number 2. Serena Deeb, a little bit of bad news, unfortunate news, will not be able to make the trip over this time. Situation completely out of our control, out of her control even. But we are already piecing it together for her to join us on our summertime loop, which will be announced shortly. In her place, coming in on the 9th and 10th, will be Katarina, the returning Katarina. And if you guys were at the last shows, yes, Katarina and Freya did take on one another, and they are officially 1-1. So Katarina will be making her trip back to once again take on Freya the Slayer, and little rubber match right here. See who leaves with their hand raised. But can't wait for that one. Always love having Katarina here at Wrestlepro Alaska. This is her 3rd trip over. Can't wait to have her back, and who knows, maybe she'll join me on commentary again. A lot of you that watch at home seem to love the pairing of us, so maybe it'll work out. With that said, we also have night number 1, which is LSG and Sean Donovan in a Singapore cane match. Alaska's first ever Singapore cane match, and these are the 2 guys that did the first ever dog collar match in Alaska. If you guys were at that Palmer event in September, I think September 19th, right? And you saw that dog collar match. A lot of you said it was match of the night, and it rocked your world. It blew your mind. Those guys beat the living crap out of each other. This is a Singapore cane match. If you guys don't know what a Singapore cane match, you might want to hit YouTube real quick, because this match is going to get violent. With that said, moving on to the next night, we have to crown the first ever Wrestlepro Alaska Last Frontier champion, we have a 7-way ladder. Oh, sorry. I got confused with the 7-way sold out in the street fight. We have an 8-way ladder match, people. An 8-way ladder match to crown the first ever Wrestlepro Alaska Last Frontier champion. So, Alecki will be coming over, 2nd trip over. He will be coming over from Hawaii to take on Nikos Ricos. Let me see, I got my list over here. Nikos Ricos, Elia Barat, Cheeseburger from Ring of Honor, Bryson Axel, who is a local, Anchorage local, who trains over at the 907 Wrestling Academy. He is in a ladder match to crown the first ever Wrestlepro Last Frontier champion. That is amazing. The hometown hero is in that match. That's a tall task for a fairly new student, but there's only one way to test yourself, and that's, in this case, beat 7 other people in a ladder match and become the Last Frontier champion. But we also have Tyler Payne. Tyler Payne is making his debut here at Wrestlepro Alaska. Tyler Payne is actually replacing John Walters on the entire tour, as John Walters unfortunately had to pull out. So Tyler Payne was inserted in. And if you guys don't know who Tyler Payne is, no worries. Check this out. That kid can fly. You put him in the ring with a couple of ladders and 7 other people, and yeah, something special is going to happen. Also in the match, Vargas will be making his second trip over. The big man, the Dominican Destroyer himself. So those 8, along with Fala Ba. I think that's all of them. I have my list here, my memory. I have a lot of things going on right now, but one of those people, one of those 8 are leaving as the new Wrestlepro Alaska Last Frontier Champion. The first ever. And that belt, if you haven't seen that belt yet, holy smokes, that thing is gorgeous. With that said, we cannot forget Tommy Dreamer making his Wrestlepro Alaska debut. His 50th and final state to compete in against the very dangerous Sami Callihan. Also making his Wrestlepro Alaska debut. I mean, guys, do I need to talk about a Tommy Dreamer match or a Sami Callihan match? Do I really need to tell you what to expect? I don't think I do. Because if you've seen any of them ever compete, then you know what to expect. And if you haven't seen either of them ever compete, then do you watch pro wrestling at all? Dion Roosman will also be on that card as he takes on Justin Carino. And I don't know how many of you guys are following this, but Justin Carino and Dion Roosman have a little bit of a history, as Dion Roosman, first and only singles competition loss in Wrestlepro and Wrestlepro Alaska is to Justin Carino. But he avenged that loss in Anchorage, Alaska. So those guys are 1-1 right now. And if Dion Roosman somehow, some way beats Anthony Bowens and is the champion going into night number 2, that title's up for grabs. Can't wait for that one. That one's going to be a banger. The whole tour is going to be a banger, guys. I can't stress it enough. If you don't have tickets, you got to get tickets. Especially the Palmer events. They're going to sell out. That has a 350 capacity. Those tickets are flying already. WrestleProAlaska.com, guys. Go there. Get tickets. Now. Soldotna, Fairbanks, Palmer. Guys, I hope to see you there. Thank you all so much. Can't wait. Super excited. My crew's super excited. This is gonna be something special, guys. One more time. Let's do it. One more time. No. A lot of more times. See you there.